Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we got some more dismal Dungeons and Dragons news, I guess. This is crazy. I got to give a hat tip to Graph Paper Architect who sent it over earlier today. Apparently, they're laying off 90% of their virtual tabletop staff over at Wizards.
Well, I thought the virtual was what they were going to go with. I thought the Hasbro was pushing to go into more digital anyway.
It was. It was the plan.
90%. Okay. Plans must have changed.
What the hell is going on over there? And this is after, we'll talk about that, after it's being reported that the new edition of D&D is not selling very well, after it's been reported that people aren't real happy with D&D Beyond, and apparently D&D Beyond, which I do not use, but people are saying if you create characters on D&D Beyond, they're basically locked to D&D Beyond, that you can't, like download your character sheets or whatever and take them with you to play offline. Like they want you online where they can monetize you. They're trying to turn this tabletop game into a live service video game.
So are they getting rid of people because they're trying to change that again and walk that back? Or are they getting rid of people because they're going to go AI?
Yeah, I think that is my opinion. I think they're going to outsource more. They're going to go AI. And I think before it's all said and done, I think at least the physical version of Dungeons and Dragons, I do not think Wizards of the Coast will make it in-house. I think they'll outsource it to somebody else. Because they're doing that all over the place. It probably would be better. Because this version's not selling. This is wild, though, because they were literally going all in on this. And then they're like, yeah, you know what? We changed our minds. See ya. So this quarter mustn't have been very good for them. And they didn't mention Dungeons & Dragons. I guess the last earnings call, they mentioned everything else, all their other successes, and they did not mention D&D at all. And that was something they talked about every damn quarter during the pandemic. Like, D&D's exploding. D&D's huge. D&D's big. It's like, D&D's sunk at this point.
Yeah, it got so big it sunk.
Let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to Substack, clownfishtv.substack.com, and we'll post links to new videos as we get them up on YouTube so you don't miss any videos. Now, I do have about a day's worth I have to get up out there because we did not have power for 2 days, and I'm kind of scrambling to keep up here. But yeah, so I think Polygon reported on it. We got a version from Wargamer, and actually Wargamer has the Andy Collins, the senior writer, game designer, team leader for that, his LinkedIn. So we're gonna talk about this. So former D&D project Sigil lead dev says Wizards has axed 90% of the team. Andy Collins, wow, 90%. Andy Collins, a developer on the new. This is a new thing. The new virtual tabletop. The new virtual tabletop, the D&D tabletop, says they've been laid off alongside 30 other teammates. According to experienced D&D writer and game designer Andy Collins, who had worked as the de facto design lead on Wizards Project Sigil 3D virtual tabletop since March 2024, Wizards of the Coast has just laid off 30 talented developers, 90% of the team. So he posted this on LinkedIn on Tuesday, saying he's disappointed that we didn't get to continue working toward the full experience that we imagined. But happy for the opportunity to work on an intriguing challenge with so many smart and dedicated folks. So it's not even done.
No, but then they only kept like 3 people.
Yeah, probably just a skeleton crew just to keep it running. Like, this is wild. Collins is something of a veteran of D&D. He worked at the Washington-based company 14 years, between 96 and 2010, and then he came back. According to his LinkedIn profile, he returned to Wizards in April 2024 as senior game rules specialist in charge of overseeing this virtual tabletop, and it lasted for like a year. So they're not commenting on it over at Wizards.
Of course they're not.
We don't know what this means for the future of the virtual tabletop. They were going all in on this. That's what blows my mind. Like, wow.
Well, they said there was a incomplete beta was launched in February. And so either the beta didn't do well and they decided they're going to change course again, or they're going to just, go use AI and crap to finish it.
AI and crap. Yeah. I mean, given Hasbro's CEO, like I totally could see them doing that. Just being like, we don't even need people.
Here we go. This is what it is. Okay. The fan reception, it was lukewarm at best. So they're probably like, people don't want it.
No, and this was something they were pushing when they did that influencer hoedown right after the OGL debacle. They were going all in. They were going to basically turn D&D into a shitty mobile app, and I still think they're going to. I think before it's all said and done, it's going to be like a shitty mobile app, and you're going to have to subscribe to D&D Beyond and make all your characters through the website. And
people don't want that. Like they want to play with people face to face and stuff like that, and they're just going to go buy the old stuff. They're not gonna do this. Like that's not. You're fundamentally changing how people are used to playing the game.
The purpose, like I'm not saying if you can't find a group or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's different.
Or if you live in like Antarctica and there, you can't get together with people. The purpose of D&D and tabletop gaming versus video gaming anyway was to be able to sit down together in the same room and enjoy each other's company and play a game. And we've lost that. I mean, this is why I think we have kids that are more disconnected than they've ever been, because instead of sitting down on the couch and playing video games with their friends or going to the arcade and playing video games with their friends, they're in their rooms by themselves on their computers.
Don't you mean you're supposed to sit down with people and find the microaggressions?
Find the microaggressions. That too, right? Do you really think that these broke ass gamers, these activist gamers, are going to spend whatever it costs per month for D&D Beyond and all this digital stuff? They're not. They're like, I can't even afford dice. I'm like,
maybe we're looking at this wrong. Maybe they're upset that the audience didn't like it. Their target demographic didn't like it because it didn't allow them to sit there and scream about how they're under attack and people want them dead and everything's a microaggression. And they need that in their lives.
I swear to God, we're gonna make a video game, and we're gonna make it about the tabletop scene, and just be like, yeah,
so it's gonna be called microaggression.
Microaggression, and you're gonna be like all of you people are gonna be hanging out at the coffee shop and just bitching about all the microaggressions.
You got to find every possible microaggression. If you don't find all 30 in that sequence, you failed the mission.
If you want to get the treasure, you have to go do the work and stomp out white supremacy in some fictional fantasy world or whatever. God, I don't know. So Wargamers reached out to Wizards directly. There's no comment.
I'm sure there isn't.
Yeah. So I think look, if the reception was not good and they're like, yeah, people don't want this. I mean, again, what is the difference between tabletop and a video game at this point? There really isn't. And the reason that they had D&D video games is it was kind of a unique experience in and of itself, but it was also for people who maybe didn't have a group. But when you had the opportunity, you weren't playing the gold box games. You were getting together with your friends and playing. And I think with tabletop, I think we're going to see a vinyl like renaissance where gamers and even new gamers are going to want physical games. They're going to want the books and the boxes, and they're going to want the maps and all the stuff that comes with it, because that is part of the experience. It's very hard to replicate that because, again, there's nothing differentiating D&D from any other RPG at this point if everything's being done virtually. Yeah,
and people just, like I said, you've gone after a different audience that wants different things, and even your core audience, even if you're chasing this new audience you think will do digitally, your core audience that you've been somehow trying to get rid of, apparently, they still are going to play it the old way. They're going to still want to have it like a big campaign every Friday night or whatever in so-and-so's basement, and they want to still keep playing it like they used to play it.
Well, let's talk about that, because as they're folding the virtual tabletop or winding it down or whatever they're doing, downsizing it, Gary Gygax's work is actually being published or republished on Kickstarter and BackerKit, and those campaigns are doing very, very well. $2 million.
Ooh, dang.
So the old school gamers want old school style games. And I think the kids today, it's kind of like, we talked about retro games with Gen Z, and they want that experience. Like, they're not watching Stranger Things on Netflix and being like, boy, I want to go out and play a video game of that. They're like, no, I want to sit around with my friends in the basement and play D&D like they were. And same with vinyl, same with all this physical stuff, retro consoles, all that stuff. Malls, they want malls.
I was going to say, they want malls to come back. It's like they basically, this generation watched, Stranger Things, and they're like, wow, the 80s was awesome. I want that. And it's not the same. Yeah, these are books. These are, it's on BackerKit. These are books. Shadow Dark, look at this. Which Shadow Dark, I guess, is definitely eating WotC's lunch at this point. Like, people are like, this is old school style gaming. I think we're going to see a renaissance in this, where we're going to have more tabletop games, or it's going to blow up with the new generation, but it's going to be physical. It's going to be physical books, just like we had.
you're going to be in person. You're going to be playing with your friends. You're going to have your miniatures. You're going to geek out and paint your damn miniatures or whatever you want to do, like Henry Cavill. And that's what we're going to see. And I don't even like the idea of like having PDFs or anything like that because it takes away from it. It's like, oh, let me go get my digital file to pull up.
Right. It's not the same.
You know, it's not the same. It's not the same. No, you want to bust your book out, or if you have a PDF, print the damn thing out and put it in a binder or something, just so it, So I think, I definitely think we're going to see a shift here, and this ain't it, man. But people are giving up on Wizards of the Coast just all the way around. Last month, tabletop gaming declined 22% for Hasbro between 2023 and 2024, and they mentioned D&D in the last investor call. And
I think that's because they banked on the pandemic and the pandemic's it's going to be always popular because we got these new younger people and they chase after this audience that are very fickle, and they usually decide to keep them with the core audience that you've had for decades. And this is just Hollywood too. They keep chasing this fickle modern audience that's going to jump ship to whatever next shiny thing TikTok tells them they should like.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I think the old school gamers, it's just like comic book collectors, and they've got money for stuff. They'll buy physical stuff if it's good, but they're not going to buy, baristas and bakers or whatever the hell. Baristas, bakers, and bears.
Or beer. Beer, bakers, and baristas.
Beer. That sounds like Oktoberfest.
And bears. The 4 Bs.
The
4B.
Bears are very yeasty. Take that as you will.
It's 4B.
4B.
Instead of 4D, 4B.
4B. Instead of D20, it's 4B. So there we go, guys. More layoffs. Meanwhile, you can go check out, some Gary Gygax stuff over on Kickstarter.
Well, it's interesting because they're doing really well, and then everybody else is laying stuff off, and it's like, what do you think the lesson here is?
Yeah, what is the lesson here? So anyway, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk later.
Bye.